So down at the lake, about to do a hard run session for the week, which is going to be 8 800s, and I'll do it in 2 sets of 4. So 4 800s, aiming for around 225-ish, something like that. It's on this kind of trail, and then I'll take 90 seconds recovery. Just do 4 of them, and then 5 minutes probably in between the sets. Because of the big ride we've got planned, I definitely want to do the hard run session before that, because there's no way I'd be able to do it the other way around. If I did the hard run, I mean the hard bike, I'd probably only be able to go for an easy run. So I'd prefer to do the hard run session in the evening, but only if I was doing like an easy ride or something like that, an easy 2 or 3 hours, or you know, if it was just an hour hard ride. And then, but yeah, once you get awake and you've done the first interval, you're normally all right.
But this is not a hard run session.
What,
so you were doing 8 times 800 at 4-minute K pace. For me, that's basically recovery.
That's why you got your bike for it, is it? I'm worried about him on my bike, like, because I've already had one go missing. I think the second one's about to get broken. Feeling all right actually. 4 down, 4 to go. First rep was a bit slow, and I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be a bit tough." But I think the hard thing about it is, on a track, it's really easy because you can kind of get your bearings. Whereas this, I mean, if you look down there, it's just as far as you can see. And on the first one, you're not too sure where you're going to finish. But once you kind of get some benchmarks on where the distance is, it's not as bad. But yeah, pleased that I've done 4. And this next one's always the hard one, because it's like you've built up a load of lactate from the first set, and you think that this one would be easy because you've had a load of rest in between the sets, but it hits you. And then the next one, which is number 6, normally feels quite easy, quite nice. 7's hard, and then 8, obviously you're hanging on.
That guy, he's a beast. Like, the way he runs, fucking amazing.
Just getting the splits what we hit. So 229, 227, 227, 225. That was the first set of 4. And just 5 minutes in between. 225, 222, 226, 223 for the last set of 4. So not bad on the trail path. That'll do. First one where I did the 229 felt pretty rubbish. I thought, bloody hell, like, I'm going to struggle to go under 230 for these. But then luckily the next one was a 227, and after that they all felt pretty comfortable, to be honest. Like, was working pretty hard, but I wasn't like having to kill myself, you know, to hold the paces. It was just like a solid session. So yeah, pleased to tick it off and get one in the bank.
How was the heat?
The heat was all right when I was doing it, but as soon as I've stopped now, I'm like really hot. Like, I mean, you can see I'm like pouring with sweat, and I've just done like 5-minute K pace for 10 minutes. So yeah, starting to get pretty warm now.
Yeah, and bear in mind the surface is pretty slow, I reckon.
What is?
The surface here.
Oh yeah, the surface is pretty slow. It's like trail, isn't it? It's like running on a trail. And the fact that it's 800 meters in a straight line, I think really plays with your head. You know, like, you just look, and as far as you can see, it's really hard to gauge where the ending is. But yeah, I think the surface is slow, and we're at nearly 1,000 meters above sea level. I don't know if that has an effect, but it might do, might not. But anyway, the surface is slow, but the times were pretty decent considering. So yeah, solid. I think Ray's gone walkies, isn't he? Like, have you seen him, my dad?
Ray's has not been around.
Ray's gone AWOL. So God knows how long we'll be waiting down here for him. He always does this. He goes, you tell him to meet you somewhere, and he'll just go wandering around. Honestly, we'll be waiting here half an hour, I bet you. Half an hour for you?
I've been around this car park 3 times walking.
You what?
I've been around here 3 or 4 times.
Around the car park?
Yeah, walking.
We were just up there.
I've been up there, I drove that park to this end, I walked up there, couldn't find you. I then parked up the other end because I thought you might be where I dropped you off, and then I've been round the car park and up there and round 3 times.
Well, at least you got a good session in then. You got a bigger session than us.
Joe, what do you want to do?
We want to go over the Col de Bonette, which is the highest through road in Europe. So I'm just mapping out a little route to get there, and it goes over one which is called the Col de Vars first, which is actually a bit of a beast of a climb, I think. But when you look at it on the graph next to, I'll just show you, next to the Col de la Bonette, there, that's the Col de Bonette, that's the Col de Vars. It looks absolutely tiny.
but it still tops out at like 2,100 meters above sea level. So we want to do this. This is the main one we want to do, and then it will either be getting a lift back in the car from here, or taking on the third one, the colder vars again.
From the car, mate.
Yeah, that's what you're saying now, but we'll see. Yeah. Now, if we do it all 150 k's, 4,178 meters of climbing, that'll be an awesome route, and just try and basically tempo up all the climbs. That would be a brilliant session. Just got shit on my bird, all on my neck. Got it in my hand.
That's what you get when you try to stop the birds, mate.
I was literally just finishing off my breakfast and felt something wet on my back of my neck, and the bird just shit on me and flown off. I'm gonna shower. Definitely time to have a shower now.
You feel it?
After the run session. Not too bad actually. My legs feel alright, but I feel a little bit tired. But I know I'm definitely gonna be.
He says he feels a little bit tired, but so we're going to do 3 big mountains today with about 4K elevation, and mark my words,
So
as soon as the camera's on, he starts ripping it, and at the end he's like, "Oh Tom, where you at?" He's on a 6 kg titanium road bike, smashing it, and then this is the other world, but this is the world around, isn't it?
6 kg, mate. Oh. So you doing we doing all 3 climbs then? Because you were like, oh well, I'm just doing 2 and then I'm gonna get a lift back.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
Nah.
Yeah, you did.
Nah.
Did he?
Maybe on pony camp, mate. We're doing all 3 today.
Doing all 3 then. Bloody hell. I was only setting myself up for 2.
You never win Embrunman if you do that, mate.
Just got the backpack on to make it a bit harder. Because if I ride up the climbs with Tom, I won't get any training stimulus in, and then I definitely won't win Embrunman. And then he can't moan at me for being on my 6 kg light speed road bike.
Cruise it steady. I must say I find it easier than yesterday.
Oh.
But
what, the Izzard?
I mean on Sunday, yeah,
that's because the Izzard, we weren't expecting it to be 9% at the top, were we? So it like completely killed us.
But still,
yeah, but I looked into this one more because that one was such a shock to the system, and I was like, holy shit, like when we hit that.
And besides that, yeah, this climb was still 19k, so still pretty long pitch it was.
How far did you say the Bonette was? Do you want to come in the video? 20 something, and we've talked him into coming up the Bonette with us today. 27 k's up the Bonette, and then we've got the other side of this climb again, bikes in the car, and then get a lift home.
You already got little ones.
I'm reconsidering the last climb.
Oh yeah, you were saying that you were deadly certain that, and he was going to do it, weren't you, at the start of the video? You've got to get that in, Pepe.
We'll see.
Shit.
We want to be home for before midnight.
Because we're not used to it. You're living in Holland and I'm living in Norfolk. Like,
I've never ever climbed this much in my whole life.
The biggest climb I've got in riding distance is a 100 metre climb.
Sorry?
The biggest climb I've got in riding distance from where I live is a 100 metre climb. And then I'm riding up like...
I think where we live is about 20 metres.
There you go then. That's why your back's smashed, mate. Right then.
Looking forward to the climb?
No, not after this one, like, because this was the baby and it was still like over an hour. So this one's like going to be nearly like an hour and 40 minutes, like, and that's if you ride hard. Like,
it's going to take me about 2 hours because I'm going to cruise it.
No, you're not.
But first,
I'll be freezing up there.
First, I'm going to show Doe how you need to descend like a boss.
I'll be getting hypothermia if you just cruise it.
1400 meters of elevation to go. I'm glad Joe, of course, is already long gone, so it doesn't really make this mentally tough. I'm always last. I'm always the guy who comes on top, and as soon as I get there, it's like, all right, let's crack it on. I don't get any rest.
Are you complaining?
I'm making up excuses. I've got 20 Ks to make up some excuses.
How do you feel?
Tired, like I'm working, but just trying to get through it. Mentally it's pretty hard, like legs are aching, you know you can do the power, but you'd love to just cruise up here pretty easy, but mind over matter. It will get hard, really hard once we get over 2,000 meters. Interesting little fact for anyone that doesn't know, this climb is the highest through road in Europe and the third highest road in general in Europe, behind a climb in Austria and Pico de Valletta in the Sierra Nevadas. So it's a bit of a beast. I don't know what to say other than, God, fuck that's over. I bet Tom's really enjoying this climb.
Holy crap. If you're used to the Netherlands, this is like to the fucking moon and back. Didn't see this coming.